Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League here at Martinsville, and we're getting ready for 110 laps around this short track in Virginia. We're looking forward to it, and let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. While we're looking at that, we're going to get our sounds adjusted. I do apologize. The sounds are a little bit loud. That's a lot better right there. Again, I apologize for the loudness there. We see Jonathan Jennings currently still in the points lead over second place Adam Gardner. Chris Leftwich moves up a spot into third. Steve Gerber and Ricky Williams round out your top five. Ricky Montgomery, Kevin O'Powell, Kevin Haas, Kim Kraus, and that was the race results. I apologize. I was looking at the wrong thing on the screen here. Let me get the right one for you here. Again, I apologize for having the wrong information up there for you. Give me a second while I get the right points up for you, as we have just a few minutes left here in practice. We see about 45 seconds. Jonathan Jennings currently your fastest driver. Joey Black currently in second, followed by Justin McMahon, Kevin Powell, and Christopher Simon. Your top five on the speed charts currently. So what I was showing you was last week's results of the race. Let's get the proper points up there for you now. There we go. Jonathan Jennings is your points leader. 5 wins on the season. Adam Gardner sits back in second with 3 wins on the season. Justin McMahon in third, showing consistency. 7 top 5s this season out of the 9 races that he's run. Kevin O'Powell sits back in fourth, and Ricky Williams in fifth. Steve Gerber back in the 6th spot. And then Christopher Simon, Daniel Wilkerson tied for 7th. Gary Clune and that is Donnell Leftwich or Mike Leftwich, excuse me, sitting there in the 10th spot. And I'll leave the points up there for a moment more so you can see where your favorite driver is in the points, as we have qualifying just making its way out. Drivers just making their way out onto the racetrack for qualifying. We see the 17, Mark Gilbert, out on track. And Martinsville, the paperclip shaped racetrack. It's 2 drag strips with a hairpin. Concrete corners, not a lot of banking. These drivers are going to be hard on the throttle off the corners, heavy on the brakes into the corners, and we're going to see some bumper cars as we see the 17 loop it around. Christopher Simon just took the checkered flag. He's currently in 6th. Gary Clune just coming off of turn number 4. And Clune is going to be in the 8th position. Here's Richard Leclerc off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch. Coming to the white flag for his 2nd lap of qualifying. Down into turns 3 and 4, and there's a real fine line between getting the right amount of rear brake into the truck that helps the truck rotate without locking those tires up. The other thing to watch out for here tonight is we take a look at Steve Gerber making his way around the racetrack. We'll ride on board here with Steve. And you see that curb as he comes to take the white flag. That curb down at the bottom of the racetrack. Really easy to jump that curb, really upset the truck. It washes up the track and can cause some big pileups here. And you see just how tight the quarters are around this track. It's really easy for one driver to get up into another and cause a big wreck like you might see at a Daytona or Talladega. So not just the super speedways see big ones, but short tracks here like Martinsville, you'll see them as well. Here we go, Jeffrey Engel off of turn number 2. Down into, oh, and there's exactly what I was talking about earlier, just having a little too much rear brake bias, gets in a little hard, loops that truck around. That's going to disrupt his qualifying. Here's the 33 of Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown right there on that that curb, trying to get that truck to turn without going over the curb. Again, we'll play the audio here in just a moment when qualifying is all over. Jeremiah Stutzman comes to take the white flag on his qualifying attempt. Currently up into the 7th position. And catches the wall, and that's going to end his qualifying attempt. And we'll throw the points back up on the screen here for you. We fix our audio here. All right, it looks like we got qualifying just about wrapping up. We got about 20 seconds left in qualifying. We see Krim Cross, just out on track, and we see him looping it there into the corner, and that's going to end his qualifying attempt with just 13 seconds left to go. Have it. Qualifying has now come to an end. Let's take a look at our starting grid here tonight at Martinsville. Jonathan Jennings will be on pole with the 24 of Justin McMahon to his outside in position number 2. Then Kevin Powell and Chris Leftwich will make up row 2. Mark Dumont and Steve Gerber back in row number 3. Back in row 4, we'll find Jeremiah Stutzman and Gary Maydew with Bill Gentry and Joey Beck rounding out the top 10. Kevin Brown, Daniel Wilkinson roll out in row number 6. Row 7 will be Gary Amio and Gary Clune. Christopher Simon, Ricky Montgomery round out row number 8 with Mike Sema and Adam Gardner back in row 9. And Michael Dow and Mark Gilbert round out your top 20. Richard Leclerc and Kim Cross make up row number 11 with Mike Leftwich and Eddie Rivers in 23rd and 24th position, respectively. 25th will be Jeffrey Engel with Teddy Wisniewski. Haven't heard that name in a while back on the track here in 26th. 27th will be Ricky Williams, Bobby Goodwin, 28th, and Miguel Cora round out the field here tonight at Martinsville. So 29 drivers getting ready to do battle here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you coming out and joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, as always, we want to thank our great partners here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting as well. Don't forget to help support the channel by checking out intensitybroadcasting.com for all your hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, novelty t-shirts, as well as Atlee Atman Weesa's racing gear. You can find all that at the link below at intensitybroadcasting.com. Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com. And for all your gaming haptic needs, don't forget to check out the Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is a established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Their patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products to figure out what's right for you. Visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, I want to shout out the Doghouse Racing League's website as well for all your Doghouse Racing news, standings, and race results. Check out doghouseracingle.com. There is a link down below in the description. So the field now makes their way down the backstretch. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Jonathan Jennings going to lead the field down to the green flag. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Martinsville, and a great jump on the outside lane by Justin McMahon as he rolls side by side with Jonathan Jennings, with that inside lane being the preferred lane. As the field cleanly makes it through turns 1 and 2 for the first time, and Jonathan Jennings sneaks out in front. He's going to lead the first lap here at Martinsville. A little battle back here. We see the 14 of Mark Dumont getting around the 13 of Chris Leftwich. New paint job for Chris Leftwich. That or My Trading Paints just did not update his paints. Yeah, it looks like some of the driver's paints just did not update properly. There's Jonathan Jennings out in front. He's starting to pull away from Justin McMahon by about a half a second. Further back in the pack, Adam Gardner, put in the chat, no Scooby snacks for me tonight. Looks like that points lead is going to grow. Adam Gardner not expecting to have a good night here tonight, as he makes his way down the backstretch, trying to work on the back bumper of Michael Dow. See a battle shaping up here as the 34 of Gentry has Gary Maydew taking a look down underneath. He's easily going to take over that 8th position. Of course, you also see in the chat, good luck to Jeffrey Engel. Another driver. Another chat says, let's go Engel. And our first yellow flag of the night is out, and it looks like it might be for the 218 of Kim Cross. So that's going to be our first wreckage rewind of the night. And this happened right in front of Adam Gardner here, so. Well, looks like Kim thought he was clear, came up into Adam Gardner. Both drivers make slight contact with the wall. Fortunately here at Martinsville, aerodynamics do not mean anything, as we see one driver coming down pit road. That is the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman. Coming down, looks like he's going to top off on his fuel here. as the rest of the field stays behind the pace car, and looks like no other takers down onto pit road. Don't forget, tonight, after this one's over, we do have our truck doubleheader. The SCSRA Truck Series will be taking on Nashville Super Speedway for their second race of the season, so you don't want to miss that. Tune in right here at 9:30 on Intensity Broadcasting. So it looks like three drivers did not start the race. Bobby Goodwin, Teddy Wisniewski, and Miguel Cora currently showing as out of the race. And Jonathan Jennings continues to hold on to the lead as we are just coming to lap 11. Lights on the pace car should be shutting off this time as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Mike Dunn says Intensity Broadcast is one of the best out there. Fantastic job. Thanks, Mike. I do appreciate the kind words. As we get ready to go back green flag racing, Jonathan Jennings going to choose the inside lane again. Justin McMahon up on the high side. Pace car takes the hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Green flags back in the air. Great jump for Jennings that time. This time, though, Justin McMahon stuck up on the high side. He's got the 93. Kevin Powell taking a look down to the inside. And the caution is back out immediately, and it looks like a big pile up in the back. Adam Gardner caught up in it. Daniel Wilkerson. We see the 27 of Christopher Simon caught up in this one as well. It looks like we're going to get ourselves another wreckage rewind. I believe it starts back here with Ricky Williams. That might have actually started in front. It does. It actually starts in front of this. I apologize. See, check up on the restart here. Daniel Wilkerson gets run into from behind and going down into turn number one. They were three wide, and yeah, just not enough room for three trucks to make it through there. Wilkerson loops around right in front. We see a little bit of contact there from Adam Gardner, and everybody gets rolling, but Christopher Simon, Adam Gardner, Ricky Williams, Daniel Wilkerson, all with some damage on their trucks. Going to come down pit road, try to get as much as they can fixed up here. Of course, if it's your first time joining in to the Doghouse Racing League, these drivers do not have resets. So any damage accrued during the race, they will have to try to either get fixed up or be retired from the race. So it looks like Jonathan Jennings is going to choose the inside lane yet again, putting Kevin Powell up on the high side. Justin McMahon and Mark Dumont back in row number 2. Steve Gerber, Chris Leftwich in row 3. Gary Maydew and Bill Gentry back in row 4. And then row 5, Joey Buck and Gary Clune rounding out your top 10. Mike says, as a driver in the SCSRA trucks, always look forward to watching your commentary. I do appreciate the kind words, Mike, and do appreciate everybody who tunes in on Tuesday nights for this truck doubleheader. Look at that, lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go back green flag racing. Pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Green flag back in the air. We are back racing on lap number 19. And right behind we see Justin McMahon pushed Mark Dumont all the way up to the high side. A couple drivers went right around Gerber and Chris Leftwich. We see the 63 of Gary Maydew trying to make his way forward as well. As Leftwich gets up into the wall, that allows Dumont to get back out in front of Leftwich. Meanwhile, Joey Beck was trying to take a look down underneath Chris Leftwich. So great battle here between Chris Leftwich and Joey Beck. As now Chris Leftwich able to get by the 85 machine. Back up front, Jonathan Jennings continues to lead over Kevin Powell and Justin McMahon sitting back in third. Now we've got our paints updating. I do appreciate or apologize for the paints being wrong first time around. Looks like my trading paints never turned on. So a little further back in the pack, we see the 218 of Kim Cross trying to get back around. Big wreck here on the front stretch. Jeffrey Engel looks like he was involved in this one. Daniel Wilkerson was caught up in it. It's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Let's see where this one started here. It looks like it might have started with Gary Amio. Oh, it started right in front of Amio with the 11 of Gary Clune making some contact with, believe, not sure what truck that was, but and we see the 20 get shot back across the track in front of traffic, and everybody just tries to scramble. We see the 50 of Dow spitting out, catching the rear of that 20 truck. Daniel Wilkerson up on the outside wall. Kim Cross had to stop and to avoid it. Looks like Engel was able to avoid it as well as Gardner. That's going to bring a bunch of trucks down onto pit road, including Mark Gilbert. Jeremiah Stutzman back down on pit road. Michael Samia. Adam Gardner getting some more damage fixed up. Kim Cross. Michael Dow, as mentioned, got into the back of the 20 truck. It was Gary Amio. That was the 20 truck that got spun around there. We see more drivers coming down pit road. Kevin Brown. Daniel Wilkerson coming down pit road, coming to get some damage fixed as well. So a tough night for a few drivers. Fortunately, it looks like for those out there, the Jeffrey Engel fans, doesn't look like too much damage to this truck. A little bit of rear end damage, which isn't going to affect the truck at all. Front end of that truck actually looks pretty good right now. So you get a good look at the front of the truck here as he comes off of pit road. And for the Jeffrey Engel fans out there, there is no concern on that truck. That truck is going to be just fine. Looks like Jonathan Jennings is going to restart again down on the low side, putting Kevin Powell up on the high side. And for all those fans out there looking for your favorite driver, seeing them towards the back of the field right now, it's not a bad thing for them to be back there right now. It could be a little bit of self-preservation as we've seen a couple big wrecks happen, and again, you never want to be in the back where the pileup can happen either. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here at Martinsville. Is Adam Gardner back on pit road? Something just happened to Gardner. I'm not really sure. As the green flag flies in the air again, we are back racing. And this time, McMahon able to use that inside lane. Oh, the 14. 114 of Dumont way up the track. He's going to lose quite a few positions here. As just in front, we see Joey Beck and Steve Gerber going at it. Another battle back here is Mike Leftwich and the 117 of Richard Leclerc going at it. Leclerc way up the racetrack. He's going to lose quite a few positions there. As Jonathan Jennings continues to be out front. Let's see what happened to Gerber here, because I saw Gerber, or sorry, not Gerber, Gardner. I'm not sure what happened to Gardner here, but he had to reset for whatever reason. Looks like they might have been catching the rear of the field here. And oh, his motor just blew up, so... And just saw it there in the chat that the motor blew. So tough break for Adam Gardner. Is definitely not going to be able to gain any points tonight on Jonathan Jennings. Unless something tragic was to happen to that 91 truck, which is possible. He already does have one DNF on the season, Jonathan Jennings. So anything is possible. Starting to see the field spread out just a little bit. Great views here from the iRacing blimp. And while we've got a moment here, why don't we do a little thing I like to call pumping up the intensity. Sights and sound of Martinsville Speedway. As I mentioned, you hear these drivers heavy on the brakes, heavy on the throttle, trying to get themselves around what essentially is a paperclip as the caution is back out on the track. Not sure what brought out this most recent caution, but I'll bring up our wreckage rewind to see what happened here. Trying to find the cause of this most recent caution. Yeah, I cannot find the cause for the caution. See the field, most of the drivers have come down pit road. Only one driver did not come down pit road. That is the 17 of Mark Gilbert. Everybody else came down pit road, got tires and fuel. So again, not really sure what did bring out that caution, but under caution for the fourth time tonight. Looks like Mark Gilbert is going to continue to stay out, lead a few laps, and see how well these older tires are going to hold up against drivers with brand new, fresh tires. Lights on the pace car are back off. Jonathan Jennings up on the high side, Gilbert down on the low side. Gilbert will have the preferred line going into turn number one, but I think Jonathan Jennings is going to have those preferred tires, being fresh tires, up on the high side as the field makes their way through into turns 3 and 4. Getting ready to come to the green flag, coming to the Geico restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. We are back racing, and Jennings stuck up on the high side. He loses a couple positions. He's going to fall all the way back into third as he's got a battle going on with Kevin Powell now for the third position. And Powell down on the inside going to take a spot back. And Jennings stuck up on that high side getting ready to get freight trained here at Martinsville is not where you want to be up on the high side as we see the 85 of Joey Beck now getting down underneath Jennings, and who has just started on the outside lane. Now he forces his way down to the bottom. Oh, they're 3 wide as Jennings makes some contact. Jennings gets turned. Caution is out. The 91 of Jonathan Jennings gets turned in 3 wide racing. That's going to bring out a wreckage rewind as we take a look to see. We'll take a look at this one up from the blimp. You see Jennings up on that high side trying to force his way down and in, and he does just barely squeeze the 85. You see the 85 heavily off the throttle. Jennings drove it in a little bit harder than I think he wanted to, and then just gets squeezed down onto the 85 of Joey Beck, and I don't see. That's just Martinsville. You know, as Denny Hamlin would say, that's just short track racing. So Justin McMahon now going to be out in the lead, as Mark Gilbert did come down pit road to get his service done. We're getting ready to re-rack them, restack them so we can refire them here tonight. So here we go as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Green flag's back in the air. Another great jump for the inside driver. That's Justin McMahon, able to squeeze down in front of Kevin Powell. When we cross the line this time, we'll be at the halfway mark. As the caution is back out. And it looks like it might be for Samia. Turn around there, and it's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Looks like we see Samia right there with the 117. Yeah, just again, just short track racing. A little bit of contact sends the 44 around. Oh, it looks like somebody just got turned around under caution. Not really sure what happened here. Is it looks like drivers checking up for the field. Drivers checking up for the field, and really easy to come up on a truck too quickly, get caught up in it from behind. So we are just past halfway. with Justin McMahon leading over Kevin Powell, Joey Beck, Chris Leftwich, and Steve Gerber. Jonathan Jennings currently way back in the 9th position. He's gained a couple positions on that restart, but definitely not where he wants to be back here in the Hornet's Nest. So we're getting ready to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here tonight at Martinsville. Justin McMahon going to choose that inside lane yet again. Leader's been choosing that inside lane, being the preferred lane when you really want to get down to the bottom here. Kevin Powell restarting back in 2nd. Joey Beck and Chris Leftwich back in row number 2. Steve Gerber, Bill Gentry, row number 3 as the pace car makes his way down onto pit road. Justin McMahon once again leads the field down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Kevin Powell immediately gets down to the bottom to hold off that bottom line with Joey Beck, is right behind Chris Leftwich going around Steve Gerber up on the high side. Gerber trying to fight back on that low side as they come down off of turn number 4, and Leftwich going to take the advantage down into turn number 1. Jennings trying to make his way back through traffic. Oh, almost gets into the back of Mike Leftwich. He's got Gary Maydew right there as well, as Jennings now to the inside of Maydew. Move Jennings back into the 8th position. Now he's going to look down to the inside of Mike Leftwich to try and take over 7th. A lot of racing left, though, for Jonathan Jennings to get his way back up towards the front. Meanwhile, up front, Justin McMahon continues to lead over Kevin Powell, the lead just about a half a second. Great view off the back bumper of the 24. Now we ride along with Kevin Powell right here on his roll bar. And these drivers really driving with an egg under their accelerator pedal right now. You don't want to spin the tires too much coming up off the corner, trying to get the traction down. But really hard to get the traction down, especially when you're coming off that concrete surface onto the asphalt. 2 different surfaces there really upset the truck. We see the 85 of Joey Beck closing in on Kevin Powell. And the caution back out on the racetrack. Not sure who that was for, but it's going to bring up the wreckage rewind. There's some Martinsville action for you there on the wreckage rewind from our first season here on Intensity Broadcasting. So Still trying to see what brought out this most recent crash, and looks like we found it here as looks like Ingo there got a piece of Mark Dumont, turned him around. So a rough night for Jeffrey Engel as most of the field comes, half the field comes down pit road, half the field stays out. Jeremiah Stutzman, Daniel Wilkerson, Christopher Simon, Mike Samia, Kim Cross, Mark Gilbert, Gary Clune, all down on pit road as Justin McMahon stays out. Again, we want to thank all of our great partners here on Intensity Broadcasting that make this possible. Don't forget to check out the links down below, including the link for the Doghouse Racing League for all your Doghouse news, standings, race results. Check out doghouseracingle.com. There is a link down below in the description. Of course, don't forget to support the channel by checking out intensitybroadcasting.com for all your Intensity gear, as well as our novelty t-shirts and Atlee Atman Weiss's racing gear, as well as a couple of his teammates as well. So check that out, intensitybroadcasting.com. For all your iRacing setup needs and coaching, visit raceepi.com. And of course, we can't forget about our great partners over at Butt Kicker, the worldwide leader and trusted leader in gaming haptics. Butt Kicker. Their award-winning line of products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Lights are off on the pace car. We go back green flag racing. We will only have, I believe, 30 laps to go. 40 laps to go, excuse me. Pace car pulls down onto pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Great jump for Kevin Powell on the high side as he continues to try to battle with McMahon. He's going to squeeze down in front of Joey Beck, and your top three now in line. Behind, we see this gaggle of race trucks trying to figure things out down into turn number one as the 34 of Bill Gentry leading the field. Behind him, Chris Simon able to tuck back in line. We see Kim Cross currently in the top 10. Eventful night for Kim. Finds himself still solidly in the top 10. Although he's got Mike Leftwich right behind trying to take that 10th spot away. Meanwhile, battle up here as Jonathan Jennings just manhandles the 13 of Chris Leftwich to take over that fourth position. Jennings marching back through the field. Earlier, he spun off the front bumper of Joey Beck. Will Jennings return the favor here? So we have just 35 laps to go. Oh, caution back out on the racetrack. It looks like it is for the 17 of Mark Gilbert. Gilbert down into the corner. Looks like he had a little bit of help here. That's the front bumper of Kevin Brown meeting the rear bumper of Mark Gilbert. Sends that truck into the spin cycle. Fortunately, it doesn't look like he made any contact with anything. Well, that was the 15 of Eddie Rivers. Blindly, it's so hard because you come around that corner, you can't see anything. You're making contact with Mark Gilbert. Don't think there's enough damage, though, to really hinder that 17 truck. See the 11 of Gary Clune getting the wave by the lucky dog to get back on one of his laps. Actually, I do believe that puts him back onto the lead lap. See a little disagreement in the chat the way I called that last incident with the 33 going around there. Or I'm sorry, how the 17 went around there, but you know, it's short track racing. When grip levels are low, not a lot of banking, really easy to overdrive the corners here. You tend to see that a lot here at Martinsville, both here on the sim and in real life. Again, just a handful of laps to decide it here in our first of 2 races here on Intensity Broadcasting. Lights on the pace car are off. We're going to go back green flag racing. Justin McMahon re-choosing the inside lane. Kevin Powell to the high side. McMahon leads them back down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back. Oh, big checkup there. Joey Beck gets into the back of McMahon on that start. The field makes their way through turns 1 and 2. Jonathan Jennings up on that high side, still not where he wants to be. He is battling up on the high side with Joey Beck as they come off of turn number 2. Battle for the lead happening as well. Kevin Powell trying to take the lead from Justin McMahon on the high side. Ooh, some contact there between McMahon and Powell. They get lined back in line. A little contact. As, oh, the 85 now gets into Powell. Sends him around. Caution back on the racetrack. And that brings out another wreckage rewind. Down into turn number 1, and we see the 85. I'm going to call that a little bit of net code. There was definitely some space there between the 85 and the 93. Unfortunately, gets the rough end of the stick there and ends up going around. So we'll re-rack them, restack them, and do it all over again. So again, the SCSRA kicks off their second race of the season at Nashville Super Speedway. Tomorrow night, though, the SCSRA Next Gen Series is their second race of the season from Phoenix. So a little bit of short track racing in the SCSRA tomorrow night. Tune in for that. Atlee Atman-Weiss will have the call, as we are in the closing laps of this event here at Martinsville. Justin McMahon, I said his consistency all season long with 7 top 10s or 7 top 5s, but has not gotten that elusive victory yet. Can he get it here tonight as the lights on the pace car are off? And the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flags back in the air. Another great jump for McMahon. Joey Beck now trying to fight down to the inside. Here comes Jennings, though, to the inside off of turn number 2. The battle is on for that second position. And, ooh, Gerber almost runs into the back. And Beck with a shot to the back of Jennings. Now Beck gets turned around up onto the wall. Yellow flag, caution is out. Big wreck on the front stretch. That brings out another wreckage rewind. See, Jennings get a shove there from the 63 of Maydew. And that sends Jennings into the back bumper of Beck, who gets into the back bumper of Jennings. Bit of an accordion effect there, and unfortunately the 85 gets the worst end of it. And then they all just come piling in right behind. Trying to see if we can find where it all starts piling up. Yeah, you see Samia, Daniel Wilkerson caught up in that as well, and quite a few drivers just very unfortunate. as we are quickly approaching 15 laps to go. Justin McMahon out in front of Jonathan Jennings, Bill Gentry, and Gary Maydew back in row 2. Mike Leftwich and Richard Leclerc back in row number 3. Richard Leclerc having a great run back through the field. Him and Mike Leftwich. Leftwich up 18 positions up into the 5th spot. Richard Leclerc up 15 spots up in the 6th. Kim Cross, after being involved in a couple incidents tonight, now finds himself up in the 7th position. Another driver who's made up 15 spots tonight. So some big movers through the field here towards the front of the track. Even Bill Gentry up 6 spots into 3rd. As the lights on the pace car come off. Again, Justin McMahon choosing the high side. Pace car takes that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Green flag is back in the air. And McMahon gets a great jump out in front of Jonathan Jennings. Bill Gentry able to hold on to that 3rd spot for now as we have 14 laps to go. And the yellow flag is back out yet again. It looks like another pileup here as we see Leclerc, who's having such a great run earlier. We see him stuck up on the outside or inside wall. I think it might have started with the 117 of Leclerc. Trying to fight down to the bottom. The 27 of Christopher Simon right there. Mike Leftwich. And yeah, Simon just bounces off the curbing. We talked about that earlier. Sends that 117 around. And then from there, it's on. And unfortunately, see Samia pushes the 117 up onto the inside wall. Unfortunately for those drivers, having to call the tow truck to get them back to their pit stall. So when they cross the line next time, we'll have just 10 laps to go. Can Justin McMahon hold on to get his first win of the season? Or will Jonathan Jennings get the victory here tonight and get his 6th win of the season? Lights on the pace car should be shutting off this time by. Again, Justin McMahon choosing that inside lane. pace car takes that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flag back in the air. Another great jump for Justin McMahon. Now Jonathan Jennings getting challenged for that second position. Bill Gentry all over the back bumper. Now he's going to tuck back in line. And Gary Maydew wants to come up into the mix here. Get himself on the podium as we have just 7 laps to go. Six laps to go now. McMahon and Jennings. Jennings all over the back bumper of Justin McMahon. Man able to pull away from Jennings that time. Jennings, though, able to drive deep in the corners. Oh, we got some contact a little further back. As Gary Maydew now up into the third position. Bill Gentry back in the fourth. And Chris Leftwich in fifth, battling with Kevin Powell. Off of turn at number 2. Justin McMahon just trying to hold off the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. Just 3 laps to go. Battle for the lead heating up as we got 2 to go. Justin McMahon still out in front. Just trying to hit his marks, not look in the mirror to get his first win of the season. But Jonathan Jennings trying to battle back, trying to get his 7th win of the season as the white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Jennings right there on the back bumper, trying to get to it. See if we can do a little bump and run here as they come down into turns 3 and 4. Jennings just not able to get close enough to make the bumper happen as Justin McMahon is going to get the win here at Martinsville. Jonathan Jennings brings it home in second, and Gary Maydew having a fantastic finish up into third. As we see a little celebratory congratulations bump there from Jonathan Jennings and Justin McMahon, who's going to come down onto the front stretch and celebrate his win here tonight at Martinsville. We know for some of these drivers tonight, the tempers were a little hot. Justin McMahon trying to burn it down all the way down the front stretch, catches the outside wall. He's out there enjoying himself with his first win of the season. Let's take a look at the final results. Again, Justin McMahon getting the win. Jonathan Jennings brings it home in second. Gary Maydew with his first podium of the year in third. Bill Gentry and Kevin Powell round out your top 5. Mike Leftwich brings it home 6th. Chris Leftwich in 7th. Steve Gerber 8th. Christopher Simon 9th. And Jeremiah Stutzman back in the 10th spot. Gary Clune brings it home 11th. Kevin Brown, Michael Samia, Kim Cross, and Jeffrey Engel, your top 15. Richard Leclerc, Joey Beck, Daniel Wilkerson, Mark Dumont, and Gary Amio, your top 20. Mark Gilbert, 21st. Eddie Rivers brings it home 22nd. Ricky Montgomery back in 23rd. Adam Gardner in 24th. Michael Dow and Ricky Williams, 25th, 26th. And Teddy Wisniewski, Bobby Goodwin, and Miguel Cora round out the rest of the field here tonight at Martinsville. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 finishers. Although it doesn't look like Gary Maydew has made his way up into the booth. So we will start our interviews tonight here with Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, great run for you here tonight. I know had a little issues there towards the middle of the race. Got turned around, got your way back up to the front. Talk about making your way back through the traffic, because I know it wasn't easy to do.
Yeah, I hope he goes back and watches me come back up through there so he can learn a little something about passing clean. But, I mean, everybody, I did it with no contact, but obviously he can't, so. Other than that, it was a good race there at the end.
It seems like tempers were flaring there towards the end as well. A lot of contact. I know, like I said, I know you were able to pass some drivers cleanly, but I know there was a big target on your back bumper tonight. How much were you looking in the mirror there at the end, or coming up through the field, and how much was it just trying to get to the back up to the front?
Well, that was all focused on going forward, and anyway, I was worried about the restarts, but I didn't expect him to send it in there under me like he did, and I don't know. Everybody had some trouble tonight, I think. He tried to get me again, but he ended up turning himself.
Well, again, great run for you here tonight. I know tough night for a lot of drivers. Martinsville's a tricky track for everybody. But before we let you go, anyone want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight, Jonathan?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast. Daniel for, he's probably not going to like it after this race, but for all the stuff he does. And Justin on the win, and all my teammates.
Hey, that's just Martinsville. That's just short track racing. So, again, congrats on the podium. I know tough one there, but able to get your weight back up. And I know next week we move on to Kansas. So good luck next week at the 1.5 miles. I know you've been dominating the 1.5 miles this season.
Adam's right there, though.
That's true. You and Adam have been splitting it pretty well. So good luck next week, and hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
So that was your second place finisher, Jonathan Jennings. Let's talk to your winner here tonight. Finally getting it done, Justin McMahon. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Josh.
Man, it's been a long one coming this season. A lot of second place and third place finishes. I was amazed to see the 9 races you've run, you have 7 top 5s. So that just shows the consistency that you've had. But that elusive number 1 spot has been, just eating away at you all season long. And you finally get done here at Martinsville. Talk about the race here, because I know for a lot of drivers that was not an easy race.
I'm glad it's finally over. To be honest, that was a long race. Just a lot of cautions. Just a lot of, I think, just people. I don't know. I don't want to say driving over their head. That might be a little too rude, but just not driving with the car in front of them. They're trying to hit their own braking points and stuff, and they're driving through the guy in front of them. So it's in it. That makes for a long race, but all in all, I'm really happy with that. I don't know if I would have been able to catch Jonathan had he not gotten wrecked there early on after that round of pit stops, but it worked out. I'm glad I was able to hold him off there at the end. I thought he was gonna get me. I had to make sure that I was gonna just hit my marks and stay to the bottom there and not give him a lane. That's really the only way that I was gonna be able to hold him off. But all in all, it was a lot of fun for the green flag racing that we did get. But would have been nice to see a longer green flag run there. But I don't know. The Group 6 interactive Chevy did pretty good tonight. I was happy to qualify up near the front there and try to stay out of the chaos as much as possible. So that was a good thing.
There at the end, you had Jonathan Jennings breathing down your back bumper. How much were you looking in your mirror, and how much were you expecting a shot from behind to take the win away?
Well, Jonathan races really clean. He's not really going to do that, I don't think, to win a race. I honestly wasn't really looking in my mirror that much at the end at all. I'd glance up every now and again just to see how close he was to me, but other than that, I was just trying to hit my marks. Like I said, keep it on the bottom. If I could keep it glued to the curb on the bottom going around, I don't think he was going to be able to have enough to get around me unless he really diamonded it and got a run off the corner exit to get a nose on me going down the straightaway. But yeah, to your, like you said though, like you asked, I really wasn't watching my mirror at all at the end.
Well, another great win for you here tonight. Finally getting it done. Next week we move on to Kansas. How do you like your chances there at the little mile and a half?
We'll see. I didn't think they were going to be that great for here, so I think they were going to be a little bit better chances to be at a mile and a half there. So, or mile? Is it mile?
It's a mile and a half.
Yeah, mile and a half. Yeah. I think the field will be able to get spread out a little bit more. So, I feel like the chances are going to be a little bit better. I mean, it can't be much better than me winning tonight here, right? But if I don't get a good qualifying run, I think my chances of coming up through the field are going to be a little bit better than if I didn't get a good qualifying position here and have to come from the back. So I like them. I think we'll be all right.
Well, good luck next week. We hope to talk to you again soon, and as your streak of top fives continues, and we have a great night and look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, Josh. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So there you have it, your winner here, Justin McMahon. Thanks again for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. Don't forget that hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Check out the links down below for the Doghouse Racing League website for all your news, standings, and race results. The Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Race EPI for your racing, if your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Of course, support our channel over at intensitybroadcasting.com. That's going to do it for us here tonight on the Doghouse Racing League. But up next, we've got the SCSRA Truck Series taking on Nashville Super Speedway. So you're not going to want to miss that one either. So as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over